Okay, welcome to the first episode of the Mary Lou Fulton Teachers College at ASU. I have a guest with me, and would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Haley Hofmann. I am a world history teacher here at ASU Prep. I also teach student government. I do the ASL club as well as I teach the color guard here.
So let's just get right into it. So, what part of college has prepared you for teaching the most?
I think one thing that the Mary Lou Fulton Teachers College did really well was that my first 2 years of college, I basically got all of my history and my undergrad classes out of the way. So, your required classes like English and math and stuff. And then the entire second half of my college career was teaching classes, doing internships. So just really being out in the field and working with the field. So that really prepared me for actually being out here and becoming a real teacher.
Okay, could you give us like a brief description on how long that took and how much effort you had to put into it?
Yeah, so it was 4 semesters, 3 semesters of interning. So I would go to either elementary school I did for one, a junior high I did for one, and then a high school as well. I would go to one of these schools that I was assigned to. I would be there for a whole day, so I wouldn't have any classes that day, which was really nice. But I would just observe. I would teach some lessons, do some mini lessons, work with some students one-on-one. So that was usually on Mondays, and then Tuesday, Thursdays, I would have all my classes, which included a 3-hour class at the end of the day, which was quite the feat to get done at like 7 p.m. But it was quite a bit of time preparing for these internships, and then student teaching is your very last semester of college, and you have no classes. So I didn't go to ASU at all. I was entirely at my school that I was placed at, which was Castile High School, and I was there 5 days a week teaching 6 classes a day. So that part was very taxing, getting to my first time being in the classroom full time, which it was a lot of work for someone brand new.
So now I want to ask, what year students did you teach, and were they cooperative at all?
I was teaching on-level juniors American history, so they were mostly cooperative. Some of them that age when I was about 4 years older than them at the time. That was it. So the whole respect thing kind of was a little rough, and especially during your student teaching and internships, it's hard to go into a classroom that's not yours, that you're just some random person walking in and teaching the kids for a couple weeks, So that part was pretty hard to get to, but once you establish that rapport with the kids, then they respect you, they understand, they work well with you. So I was kind of lucky because I'm a very childish and friendly person, so I was able to relate to them more with things their age as well. Like TikTok was just starting to be pretty big then, and so we got to make some TikToks together with my students. So it was pretty fun, but overall they did behave pretty well. Overall, I learned quite a bit from it, especially in the classroom management side, because as it was a very large public school, I did have very large classes, so it was kind of hard to keep control of that as a student teacher, but I did learn a lot.
That was pretty recent then, because TikTok was made in like 5 years ago, so that's pretty recent. What were the teachers like there?
The teachers were super supportive. My favorite part about teaching at Castile was that all their history teachers would plan together, so we would bounce ideas off of each other, and as a new teacher, I felt extremely supported by them. They've even, into my first year of teaching afterwards, they had offered me help and guidance, and it was a really awesome experience. They were very helpful.
Why did you choose to go to Mary Lou Fulton Teachers College?
I've always been like a homebody. I like to stay where I know, so I figured I was going to stay in state for school, and ASU is pretty well known for their teachers college. I had always known that I wanted to go into teaching. I remember when I was younger, I would play teacher with my little brother. He's like 7 years younger than me, so I would be teaching him math and stuff during the summer, which looking back, that's not my strong suit anymore. But it was a fun experience that I would always do with him every summer. And then I started getting some leadership roles in high school. which made me like teaching even more and helping people understand what they don't know, all of that sort of stuff. So that combined with I wanted to stay close to home led me to Mary Lou Fulton.
Would you say now that you've gone to Mary Lou Fulton and learned things there, would you say that you're definitely more prepared now and that you enjoy being here overall?
I do, because before I had actually gone into the teacher program at Mary Lou Fulton, I had been coaching for a couple years, and that was really fun, but it is so different than being in the classroom. So overall, I had some experience teaching high schoolers prior to actually getting into the program, but the program is really what helped me learn things like classroom management and really like my curriculum paths and what I really need to do as a teacher, and not just building that rapport with students, because I've had a lot of experience with that. So I feel like that's something I do really well, but it's the other, like the technical side of it that they really helped me out with.
What kind of teacher did you want to be, and what kind of teacher did you end up becoming?
I don't know that I had any sort of like certain goal for what kind of teacher I wanted to become. I was very unsure of that until my student teaching, and I was always so nervous in the classroom when my teacher, like my mentor teacher, was in there. But once she would step out, I definitely became more like what I am now, which is kind of kooky, kind of wild, weird in the classroom. And so I definitely saw that start to shine through in my student teaching, and that's when I realized, oh, I want to be super fun, but still have that sort of strictness with the kids where it's like they know what needs to be done. And we know when to have fun, and we know when it's work time.
So if you didn't know what you wanted to become, did you have any idea at all?
I chose to kind of go with the flow. I wanted to test the waters during my student teaching, and that's kind of what I did. So that's how I found how I wanted to be as a teacher. Prior to that, really, I was super nervous. I didn't know what I was doing that much. So I didn't really have any clear goals, but like I said, my student teaching really helped me find that, because honestly, it was a life-changing experience doing it, just being thrown into the ocean of teaching all of a sudden. It really helped me actually get my feet on the ground and start teaching.
As we know, you are a history teacher. Did you have any want to pursue history before you became a teacher?
So this is actually kind of a funny story. When I was in high school, history was one of my best subjects, and I asked my U.S. history teacher my junior year of high school, I asked her, hey, how much math did you have to take to become a history teacher in college? And she looked at me and she said, none. And I said, oh, looks like I know where I'm going. So that's I always knew I wanted to teach. I wasn't sure what, but that really solidified what content area I wanted to go into. I wasn't great at it, but I really enjoyed it. We're not going to talk about the one I got on the AP US history test, but, I definitely learned quite a bit in college after that. But yeah, that experience really led me down the path of the history content area.
Why did you want to become a teacher anyway? Is it did you want to help people learn, or is it a different reason?
One of my favorite things is watching a student's face just light up when they finally understand something, or they finally get it right, or they did well on a project, a presentation, anything. So that is something that I really like to see, and I like to be able to get students to. I like to be able to get them to those epiphany moments, to those moments of happiness where they feel confident in what they've done academically.
Okay, last question before we close off. Who's your least favorite student?